This is today's health and wellness podcast for April. This is Brett.
And I'm Ashley.
We have a jam-packed podcast episode this month.
That's right. Along with the Trevors from Elite One Fitness, we will preview some of the articles you can find in this month's Central Ohio Health and Wellness magazine.
Plus, we'll hear from our podcast partners, the dollar-saving Divas, about which herbs and spices have some health benefits, besides adding great flavor to food, a gardening tip from Plant Talk Radio, and NASA has just released a list of the best air cleaning plants for your home.
We better get started. Welcome back to the Today's Health and Wellness podcast, guys. We have the Trevors from Elite One Fitness. How are you guys doing?
Hey, Ashley, what's up? This is Trevor Scott here with Elite One Fitness,
and this is Trevor Garber.
And we got a really fun topic for you guys today. This is a question that we get very frequently, we're very excited to be able to answer it, dispose of any myths that may be out there, and
Ooh, I'm excited.
Give you guys some fun information.
Cool.
We'll get right to the point. So, Trevor, let's use me as an example. I got some. We got the summer months coming up. I really want my abs to pop.
Who doesn't?
Exactly. I want my stomach. I want to trim up around the midsection, right? Mm-hmm. So basically, I'm just going to go in and do abs until I'm blue in the face, and that way I can melt away the fat around my midsection, right?
Right. See, this is a common myth that you're going to hear a lot of, and you cannot spot reduce like that.
What do you mean spot reduce?
So just cut that fat out in that one area.
You mean I can't target exactly where I want to lose fat from?
No, you cannot. So what you have to do is, you have to specifically work on your diet and effectively doing cardio and tone out in your entire body, not just in that one specific spot.
But I really, really want to lose the extra fat around the midsection.
Well, you can, but it's just with hard work. So as you do it here, effectively dieting, you can't specifically target and lose in the midsection. You're going to probably start in the face first and go all the way down. And the midsection is actually going to be the last place you're going to lose fat.
Oh,
really?
So a lot of times
but then everything else is going to look better by the time you get there.
By the time you get there, that's exactly right.
Right. Yes.
So kind of, you kind of answered it a little bit for me, but so then how do I effectively, I want to trim up around the midsection, or maybe it's my arms or something. I want to specifically tighten up my arms, or my legs a little bit. How can I do that?
Yeah, so the biggest thing with weight loss in general is calorie deficit.
Okay.
So we got to go into a caloric deficit from what we're already taking in. So doing the proper implementation of exercise and exhausting your body with different aspects that we've talked about in earlier podcasts is the best way to effectively do that.
Right. Okay. So, and guys,
we talked about that last time.
Yeah. So a caloric diet or deficit basically means whatever you maintain weight at, you have to either burn extra calories or eat less calories in order to be under your maintenance level.
Right.
And that would help lose weight and muscle or body fat, and hopefully preserve muscle if you're in the right type of nutrients.
Mm-hmm. And as we touch up on this too, guys, a big one to do is, look at what you're eating, not just how much of what you're eating. A lot of times we hear, well, I'm this low on calories, I'm way at a deficit. We understand that, but where is your fat and carbohydrate content at compared to your proteins?
Because it does matter.
Yes,
it does
100%.
Matter. Now, okay, so let's go back to this. Let's revisit the spot reduction thing of losing, losing fat in a specific area. So you're telling me basically it's pointless for me just to do abs?
No, absolutely not, because you still need to bring out that muscle group.
Okay.
So either way, for women or men, you still want that definition in your stomach. I mean, no one should just have nothing there.
Exactly.
Nobody wants to look flabby there. And the best way to do that is to bring out that muscle tone. So, really hitting the abs the right way with a little bit of weight resistance, as long as you're doing it effectively, is really going to bring out that definition while you burn that fat, and it's going to produce the most results.
Yeah, so think about this, guys. You're going to have, if you're working on your abs, you may not see them right away, but they're down there. They're underneath just a couple layers of fat that we are working to melt away. And once we finally, we're working hard with the cardio, our workouts, our diet's on point, and that fat slowly starts to peel away, then the flat stomach, the nice shape, the abs,
muscles come out.
Yeah, then they come out. And so we have to work on them because they're there, and they will come out, but we just have to peel away the layers first. And plus, core strength is very important, or
Right.
whatever body part you're working on, you definitely still want to have the strength there. So,
And with that being said, with vacation season right around the corner, or basically here, we see a lot of people, a week out. Well, I'm just going to really limit what I'm eating. Well, again, like we said, you can't spot reduce. Yeah. So even though you might get rid of some of that infectious bloating that you have from your late nights on the weekends, whatever you choose to eat or drink there, however, you're still not able to reduce the amount of body fat that you want to unless you start a little bit further out on your cut.
Definitely. Well planned. Now,
what would you recommend for that?
For what?
I mean, obviously you need to be doing it all the time, but if you're going on vacation, I mean,
right.
a couple months, really start in, or
so definitely, these extreme diets that are like phases. We definitely want to discourage those as much as possible,
right?
Just because this is a lifestyle, and of course we're going to have ups and downs, but we want to make sure our overall lifestyle is geared towards what we want in our goals and our health. Now, the downside of doing an extreme diet is the rebound effect when you after you kill your metabolism, and the second you start reintroducing calories, you're going to add that fat back at a much faster rate. Right.
And let's be real, 9 times out of 10 after we do a crash diet, we're not effectively dieting appropriately after the crash diet. We're
There's
usually
only so long you can keep up with that.
We're usually like, sweet, vacation's here. Let's eat pizza. You know what I mean? Let's do whatever we want to do in that retrospect. So, that's why I'm not a big advocate of crash diets.
Yeah, and so what your body thinks, real quick, this is kind of a nice little simplistic way to think about it. Your body has been going without calories for a long, long time.
Right.
And the second you start reintroducing a lot of calories into it with pizza or bad foods, whatever it happens to be, as soon as you start reintroducing those foods, your body says, oh my gosh, I don't know when I'm going to get these again, because what my body's been getting for the last month or 2 months has been hardly anything at all. So if this is your body doesn't know that that's only going to be a once in a lifetime thing. If it's going to be every week, it just knows it finally got some calories. I'm storing those because I think I'm going to go back into the way it was before with this calorie deficit. So I'm going to store them as fat. Yeah,
and I mean, me personally, I'm such a visual guy. I kind of have to think about it a certain way, and I really kind of think back to caveman times. It's survival mode. How's your body respond in survival situations? And that's the best way to look at it. When you don't eat for so much period of time, it's going to store that energy for survival.
Yeah.
Also, you were talking about the layers of fat. You've got the muscles underneath and such. I think a lot of people walk into it unrealistically of a look they're going to have when they're done.
Yeah.
You guys, I'm sure, have to help them kind of go through that. It's like your body style's not going to be that, but you're going to look good. How do you approach that with somebody that they think they're just going to be ripped, but they're not really going to be? The
best thing that we can tell people is physical change in body image is the third benefit that comes with working out. And I think we might even have mentioned it on the podcast before. I know Ashley and we've talked about it before. The best thing right away, you're going to notice stress relief.
Right.
And you can't put a price on that. So I don't care who you are or what you want to look like. Stress relief and the mental clarity, you can't put a price on that.
Oh, yeah.
The second thing that's going to come about is your internal health, your organs, your heart, your lung, your cardiovascular system. All the internal health, the years that you're adding to your life, the quality of life you're adding, you can't even see that. That's not a physical change. You might be able to feel it a little bit, but that's things you don't even realize you're doing for yourself, and you're doing it. The third thing then, of course, is the physical change. And we just say that's a bonus. And it will come with hard work.
Right. And that's exactly what I was going to touch on there is, as you talk about, you see these people in these magazines that are just shredded, and 9 times out of 10, they're cutting like they would for a show, which is totally different training. But at the end of the day, how bad do you want it? Yep. When you put in the effort will show 9 times out of 10.
Sure.
You get out what you put in. And so a real good little quote you can take from dieting and exercise, you can't outwork a bad diet. Right? Does that make sense? Think about running
100%.
Think about running on a treadmill. You can't outwork a bad diet. So if you're trying to, get to a certain body image or whatever you're trying to do, you can work your butt off in the gym, and it's going to be like running on a treadmill if you have a bad diet, because you might not be adding any more fat or weight to your body. You may be able to cancel out that bad diet, but you're not going to reverse the effects until you have both in place.
Right.
Yeah. I liked your comment earlier too about really working the core, because I mean,
oh yeah,
I'm a couple of decades older than anybody in the room, but
Yeah.
and the older you get, the more you keep hearing like strengthen the core, because you will have fewer injuries overall, even just simply pulling weeds in the garden, or throwing a football, throwing a baseball because you just you catch it the wrong way.
Exactly.
That core stuff is so important without having to go to the extreme of looking cut. It's just keeping yourself strong.
Strong and healthy.
And that's a big thing to touch on, too, as we talk about doing crunches to your blue in the phrase. Not that I am against crunches. I think they definitely have a place in things. However, there is core work in everything you do. Any type of stabilization, if you're doing single-arm overhead shoulder presses.
Free weight use.
Free weight use, yeah, correct. I mean, there is a lot of movements that require a lot of core strength, and like me and Trevor talk about all the time is, even when we're doing tricep extensions, the core should be engaged.
Exactly. That's an inside joke.
Yeah.
But no, you're talking about the core strength, and we think about abs when we think of core strength, and yes, those are important, but we neglect the lower back, and that's why it's it's disproportionate. The abs are much stronger than our lower back, and our lower back supports so much of our weight and so much of our daily activity. And so our lower back really needs extra attention, and it gets actually less attention than our abs do.
Yeah, what we do for the front, we should always do for the back. We visually see the front, so we always work on the front. Whatever we do for the front, do the same movement for the back.
Yeah. I think until you have a lower back injury, realize how tender it is. You don't realize, like, okay, I got to get... And you forget. I mean, I've been through a couple of those and actually surviving one right now, right before a vacation. But you forget how tender it is, and when you mess that up, it's weeks upon weeks of whether at-home rehab or just some stretches, whatever it might be, and it takes a long time to heal.
Exactly. Yeah. So, guys, if we can kind of go full circle and reiterate what the big point about today, it was, Trevor, what's the big point?
That you cannot spot reduce.
You cannot spot reduce. So we need to get that out of our heads. We need to have an effective diet and an overall good workout plan. That's going to burn the fat from wherever it's most efficient for your body to pull it from. It's going to pull the fat from wherever it's most efficient at the time. And wherever it feels like pulling it from, it's going to slowly start pulling it. And usually it starts around the face and neck, works its way down towards the midsection. And as long as you keep at it, it's going to eventually start pulling from there as well. And you're going to lean out, and you're going to get the results that you want, but you got to stay after it. And you can't technically reduce fat in a specific area. There were studies done with this for the abs, especially, just by doing work in that area.
And a big tip to take away home with that is start earlier on your cut.
Start earlier, or just change to a lifestyle change.
Right,
100%,
absolutely.
change.
That's right.
Yeah.
Today's health and wellness
That's correct.
is tomorrow's health and wellness.
Oh, I love that.
That's right.
That can be our tagline.
That's
Trademark
right.
that.
That's right.
That's a good one.
April will be another great month for the Central Ohio Health and Wellness magazine, Ashley.
I think so too, Brett. Here's what you can find in the April issue. I know each month we've talked about Sleep Outfitters. They write an article each month that's always really interesting. And this month it is Sleep or Die. They ask how long one can go without sleep.
Oh, wow.
And you would be surprised at
My
some
dad
of
needs
the
to read
research.
this.
Does he?
Oh, my goodness. He works third shift, and then sometimes he doesn't even sleep. He goes, I've been up for 48. You got to go sleep.
Oh, tell me, I can't do that. I was up early before we went on vacation, and when it got to... We got up at 2 a.m. to go, and then it was midnight the next night, and I thought my body was shutting down.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. Wow.
So anyway, it's interesting, though, to see how long people, there's research, and people have tried to go as long as they can.
Oh, I'm making him pick this article, or this April edition up just for that article.
Wow.
It's a good one. It's Easter, of course, so there's a good article on how to avoid tooth damage this Easter. Great for, especially if you have kids.
Okay.
Well, and some of us who like candy, of course.
Right. Or no insurance and don't go see the dentist.
Right. Healthy Homes for Ohio lead poisoning awareness this month. Licking County Health Department has given us a great article for that.
Great.
And another neat thing, especially since the weather's starting to break and we can get outside and do things, there's an article on foot golf. So I'm not sure how familiar you are with that, but that is a sport that combines both soccer and golf.
Oh, interesting.
And the Trout Club in Licking County has a foot golf course that goes along with the golf course.
Really?
So you can do it actually anytime, even if people are out golfing. So that's a good one, too.
intrigued.
Yes.
I might have to try that out
Yeah.
because my golf swing is not there.
Yeah. Ours
Same here.
mine not either.
Same
Exactly.
here.
Yeah. Wow.
If you guys post your favorite gym story, I would get Garber to post his golf swing.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Me and Charles Barkley might compete.
Yeah, that's a good. Is it? Look, that's
Foot
funny.
golf. Sounds interesting.
Yeah. So that's a few things we've got going on, along with a lot more. So make sure to pick it up or go online and read it.
Sounds good. Yeah, you can find updates all month long on the brand new Today's Health Facebook page and the Today's Health webpage found on the blitz.com, 1039jackfm.com, and WMNI.com. It's also available on the magazine's website, and the magazine is available, as Ashley mentioned, all around Central Ohio and Kroger, and probably your doctor's office. And you can find links on our podcast show notes, too. We always like to include our pets in today's health and wellness podcast, and just recently I found an article about flying with Fido, how to vacation with your 4-pod companion. And really, I guess I haven't seen a lot of travelers with pets, but I do know it's common. I guess most of them are in the cargo bay, and you don't realize
I
it.
guess so, yeah.
But traveling with your pet can be stressful, but it doesn't have to be if you plan ahead. Some tips from the American Veterinary Medical Association mention some ways to prepare. First of all, just visit the vet, just as you should be in tip-top shape before traveling. Make sure your dog is too. There could be a possibility that they just aren't going to take the flight very well, and they say maybe get in about 10 days before your departure date. Do your research. If you're flying internationally, there may be special requirements such as microchipping your canine companion or securing a pet passport. So be sure to contact. Yeah.
Who knew?
So be sure to contact the consulate or embassy.
Did they go take pictures?
I don't know. No glasses. You have to wear these certain clothes.
Really
no glasses.
Funny. Right, you can't smile. Like now you can't.
Probably just as picky.
your mouth.
How do I
Close your
get
mouth
that
and
job
stuff.
to just hang out with pets all day and give them passports? This sounds awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Book at a pet-friendly lodging and restaurant. I'm noticing that a lot more too. The little icons of no dogs and such. So it's important that you find a place that the stay is going to be welcoming for the pet, or you may have to pay a little extra, possibly if you have to. You can't find another place that'll work, but at least you know there's not going to be any surprises when you walk in.
Right.
Fly nonstop. Dog lovers and pet reporter Julia Szabo encourages owners to research airlines ahead of time to find out what their pet policies and fees are. Also consider natural calming. This is what really caught my eye with this article. I didn't realize that some pet owners actually tranquilize their pet before flying. According to the American Veterinary Medical Association, it can increase the risk of respiratory and heart problems, especially in short-nosed dogs and cats.
That's interesting. Yeah, because like you said, you don't think about that.
Right.
To keep them calm while they're flying and everything. So,
Right.
yeah,
I guess
that's
it
very
makes
important.
sense. Well, that would be scary to try to do on your own.
my
I would think
gosh.
it'd be extremely stressful for the
don't
pet.
think I
First
would
of all,
do
they're in
that.
this dark cargo, all this noise around them. They're away from their owner for hours on time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I would consider another situation. But again, I'm not that close to our pet that I'd have to bring him along, But that's their children,
Right.
That's their
Oh, I know.
child.
Yes.
They don't go anywhere without them, and so it can be tough.
Yeah, you should probably drive if that's the case.
Maybe, yeah. And lastly, they're saying boarding may be better, which I agree, because boarding, at least you get that human interaction while they're there. Most places are really good about
Right.
taking care of the pets,
Yeah.
and they have a great time because that's why they're working there. They love to be with dogs and cats. So certain pets, whether due to medical conditions or temperament, might be better off staying at home. So give that a shot as well too. Do your research, find a good place to put up the pet. They probably will have a better vacation when you're on vacation while you're doing it.
It'll be like a vacation for them too.
Right. Yeah. Think about, that's good.
Exactly.
Think about from their perspective versus just your perspective. Maybe.
And socialization, playtime with other people and such too. So yeah, exactly. Up next, we're going to hear from Plant Talk Radio's Your Gardening Questions. Fred Hauer is the host, and he's going to go over how to grow fresh raspberries in your backyard for some fresh fruit this summer.
Several questions here. One is, where's a good place to purchase raspberry plants? And then, what's the best compost for them? And what to put down to minimize the weeds? So I guess the first question is, what, a good garden center?
Yes, a good garden center. And well, I've got to be careful here, but let's just say not likely to be found in a box store. This would be the true garden center. You'll find them probably dormant as bare root plants yet, but that'll soon change. So I would send you off to a couple or three that I can name here in town, but across the state, any of your good farm centers or farm centers that handle garden types of things, as well as garden centers themselves, would be the source, I would think.
And compost.
It's a little late, but at the same time, probably could get them on, mail. My mind on catalogs is gone right now.
Sure.
But the catalogs would help on that too.
And what kind of a compost would you put those in?
Well, I don't think anything specific. I don't think you have to buy it bagged, most especially if you are doing your own composting. Now, organic matter of any kind that's well composted, I think, will serve for a raspberry. I don't remember specific needs, and berries are not my strong suit, but I don't think they have any acid or alkaline needs that are unusual. And it's just principally then a matter of getting the soil worked up. I would go, if possible, in a 40-foot row. It's going to take a bit, but I would go as much as 1/3 compost or compostable material, because once you let's just say placed the compost itself, I think you could use some last year's mulch, some old leaves found here or there, mixed in, even though they're not composted. I don't think you'd get enough into a problem area. So whatever can be done, I think your best bet is to dig a trench. Put them then, your choice, 4 feet apart, whatever, and get them going. They'll grow faster in that trench that's prepared, rather than having to go out and around so far.
Just to finish up on the raspberry question,
yes.
We also had a question. Char wanted to know, what can I do to minimize weeds around those plants?
Right, forgot about that. Char, I'm going to just simply wish you good luck, and then I'm going to tell you what I think will help, but probably not be absolute. And that is a good thorough cleanup of the area before you add the compost and so on. Hopefully the compost is cured enough that it won't have viable weed seeds in it. Then I think you said a 40-foot row, and that row should be, my opinion, should be mulched 3 to 4 feet wide, in other words, off-center both ways, and then continuum down the row, or rows, whichever. I have had good luck with the product Preen, Preen. Preen chemically has been around for a very long time. It was formerly, and this is good bit formerly, the best of the crabgrass controls. Well, there are better crabgrass controls, but Preen carries on as a garden weed interrupter, and I put it that way. It will stop the germination of, I guess, any seed, from what I'm told, but then it depends on how deep it is, how fresh the preen is, and so on. But it's going to give you an 80% run of let's just say, ability to control things. When you do pull a weed or kill a weed under the raspberries, and I don't see any reason why you can't use a properly blended shot of Roundup, just as long as you don't touch the raspberry, and just hit the grasses or other types of weeds, being cautious that it's not a windy day, all these good things. I think you can do that. The preen, and then after the preen is down, and before hopefully any weeds get growing, you can mulch it. Now, you can use any of the good mulches, but I think you could also, when you're dealing with a 40-foot row like that, I think straw And in this case, where if you're putting straw down on a lawn area expecting germination, you want to be able to look straight down at your feet and see soil. And then as you look out across the way, it's completely covered. In this case, now you're going to go the opposite. When you look down at your feet, you want to see about 3 inches of straw that will then bed down with water and walking and etc. That is rain. And you will get, I think, quite a ways. Now, straw also will bring in some weed seeds that hopefully the preen will work on, and then you may have to manufacture or set aside a couple of hours for weeding here and there. But that's the way I would tell you to go on that.
Next up, we're going to hear from our podcast partners, the Dollar Saving Divas. They've come up with a very interesting list of herbs and spices that offer health benefits, in addition to making our food taste even better.
Herbs and spices with benefits. Leslie, that's what we're going to talk about today. So there's actually foods that can actually boost your health. Can you believe that?
I can. Actually, yes.
There's lots of them now, and some of these are kind of spicy, or hot, like cayenne pepper. Some people don't like it. I happen to love it. Capsaicin, I think I pronounced that properly, is a compound found in whole or ground red chili peppers. That's another thing that cayenne pepper. So it may actually fight cholesterol by breaking up the waxy plaque compounds that clog arteries. I think that's very interesting. I love to put cayenne.
It tastes good.
Yeah, I love cayenne pepper. I put it in
a lot of things.
And it says it also can compete with your love for heart-healthy red wine. Nothing competes with wine. Sorry, cayenne or pepper or not. No, wine, cayenne pepper, I'm going for the wine.
I agree with you. Another one is sage, which I use a lot of sage in cooking.
I do too.
So studies show that it can sharpen your concentration, it increases your alertness, and improves your mood. So I should be happy eating more sage.
I think our spouses should be. We're happy.
Us the sage.
We're happy all the time. What are you talking about?
That's true.
I know. Yeah. I like sage with like making an omelet. So put a little of that. Yes,
I put it in with some butternut squash. Put a little sage in
good.
there. Yeah, I use that a lot, and we grow it. I think you do too.
We do as well.
Yeah,
we have a little herb garden.
Keep in a little pot off the back porch.
Pot?
In a pot. A pot. A clay pot.
A pot, not pot. That is not a herb that's healthy.
That's something. Well, I don't know. It's a matter of opinion. Another spice is turmeric. And I don't know if you use a lot of this, Kelly. I do, and like when I make curries or different things. But turmeric is an antioxidant that can relieve joint pain. So the more studies they've done, it eases like knee pain as effectively as ibuprofen. So they're recommending if you can use a teaspoon of ground turmeric daily, and you can put it in. Now, I saw where you could put it in hot cocoa. I've never tried that. I actually put it in.
That sounds
like
awful.
I said, stews or soups or curries or different things. But I've never actually tried it in hot cocoa. But if you're game, give it a shot.
Well, one of my favorite herbs is parsley. It's probably one of the most common. And, most people just, it's on the top of everything as a garnish.
Yeah,
and people
always
just
think of it as just blah.
Yeah, and they take it off. No, it's not just a garnish. I mean, I think fresh parsley tastes great. And actually, you can get a bunch for like 99 cents at your local grocery store. And I like to put it in, I put it in my eggs. I put it in tuna salad, marinades. I put it in just about everything. And they say it's, 6 sprigs of fresh parsley pack more than a day's worth of vitamin K, which is good for your bones. So, and even if you had to use the dried parsley, it just wouldn't give you as much vitamin K, but it's really good for you. And I use it on everything. I use it in all my marinades. So, and I usually go to like GFS if I don't get fresh, get the big jar bottles they have, and it's like really inexpensive. It's like $4.99, and it lasts a long time. So I'm all for parsley, guys, and we actually grow that as well, which probably would cost you about a dime.
Yeah,
and you can have it all year round.
I
because
always reach for the cilantro instead of the parsley. I have to start using more parsley.
Oh, I do both actually. So, well, how about this? Ginger. I love ginger.
I do too.
That's, kind of, I always think of ginger as something that I use in like stir fries. It's a Southeastern Asian kind of spice. But I think this is so interesting. I was reading an article and it said, ginger has a lot of medicinal applications. It's been celebrated for its ability to soothe gastrointestinal distress, reducing gas.
I've never been to a ginger celebration. I didn't know we were celebrating.
We're celebrating. It's reducing gas, cramping, and especially nausea. It's so effective in treating nausea that double-blind studies have shown it's better than an over-the-counter medicine designed to alleviate motion sickness. So if you're going to, if your kid's got motion sickness and getting in a car, I guess ginger candy. I bet ginger candy would work. They have those ginger candies.
I put ginger in smoothies. Like when I make a smoothie, I'll put a little bit of ginger root in it. It gives it a kick.
I put it in my stir fry. So
I do in my stir fry too.
I love it in the stir fry. Actually, we just made a stir fry the other day, which is lots of fresh vegetables too. So, it's. I just think that was actually very interesting. But I've never heard of putting it in like a smoothie or baked
try
goods.
it with a citrus smoothie with some ginger in it.
Okay, I'll try it.
That's my recommendation.
Okay.
Another one is cinnamon. Everybody knows cinnamon. It's one of the oldest spices known to humanity.
Isn't cinnamon kind of like a sexy girl? That's what I just remember. Like on TV, the girl's name, like on Get Smart, was named Cinnamon. I mean, I don't know where this even came from, but
that's not the cinnamon we're talking about. I'm not sure how healthy that would be for you, but the spice cinnamon. Actually, it was used in ancient Egypt, where it was at times considered more precious than gold. There's your fun fact for the day. So, but it is an anti-inflammatory and an antimicrobial agent. So, it's highly effective in stopping the growth of bacteria and fungi.
Is that different than fungus?
Fungi.
It's the sister to fungus.
Exactly. So, some studies have shown that cinnamon it appears to slow the rate at which the stomach empties after meals, which evens out your blood sugar highs and lows, which is kind of interesting. They're doing more studies on that. And it also may boost brain activity. So smelling cinnamon or chewing cinnamon-flavored gum enhances your cognitive processing.
I do like cinnamon-flavored gum.
Who doesn't?
And then I also like spiced eggnog with a cinnamon stick.
Yeah, well.
Does that work?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, so cinnamon's it's a good source of fiber and manganese and a good source of calcium, which I did not know that.
Well, I think these herbs and spices with benefits this is some pretty interesting stuff.
I think so too.
A healthy home environment is vital to a person's well-being, and houseplants contribute it to more than you might think. Well, just recently, I found an article that NASA did a research project 27 years ago, and it's never been updated for any reason because it's just stood the test of time in regards to finding the best plants to clean the air in your home. And these plants that are on the list, and we'll put in our podcast notes as well, they're effective at removing benzene, formaldehyde, trichloroethylene, xylene, and ammonia from the air, which have negative health benefits that can cause headaches, dizziness, eye irritation, and a lot of other stuff. Now, what I think about the list of plants, I gave everybody here in the room a list of them, which is kind of cool that these plants you can find anywhere.
Yeah.
You can go to your local garden center or the big box store, it doesn't matter, but they're really pretty easy to find. When I started reading the article, I thought, these got to be probably really exotic plants.
Right.
Got to go to a arboretum to go find them. It's going to cost $50 and such, but no. Some of the plants on here include Boston fern, which takes care of formaldehyde and xylene. Spider plant, same thing. Let's see, what else did I see on there? The broadleaf lady palm, or a palm tree, a short palm tree, that'll take care of that stuff. Yeah. The Barberton daisy, you see the daisies a lot. So those are great for cleaning up trichloroethylene as well as formaldehyde and xylene. and peace lily, as well as
look at that.
English ivy. You see English ivy all over the place, and that's kind of a really
Same
hard
with the
plant to
peace
kill.
lilies also.
So, you might want to go with, if you don't have a green thumb, and that's why you've been avoiding the indoor plants.
English ivy might
Just
be
ask and say, hey, what plant can I really, really, really terrorize, and it's going to be okay, or that it's inexpensive enough that okay, if you kill it, fine. Get
Peace
another
lilies
one.
are like that too. They'll
Yeah.
take quite a bit.
Yeah, exactly. So really, most of the plants are pretty hardy and can take some neglect, but at the same time, you're doing yourself a lot of good for air cleaning and even talking about the different stuff in your home that's there. I didn't realize they were there. The benzene, the formaldehyde, and such,
Right.
what they do to you.
Oh, yeah.
So if you've got some of these symptoms, it could be that it's in the air. Get it checked out. But for example, the formaldehyde includes short-term exposure that can cause near irritation to your nose, mouth, and throat, in severe cases swelling of the larynx and lungs. Ammonia associated with short-term exposure that can create eye irritation, coughing, and sore throat. Xylene includes irritation in the mouth and throat, dizziness, headaches, confusion, heart problems, liver and kidney damage, and coma.
Right.
So I think it's probably worth getting a $7 plant that might help out a little bit. So
There's one thing here that that you included on here was some of them are harmful to pets, so make sure they're aware of those ones.
there you go, exactly. And I think a good garden center is going to be able to tell you that. And they're pretty well tagged as well. If they're harmful to a pet, they'll be able to read it and see it. So, but it's a good idea. Take a look and see whatever else you have going in the house. Make sure that what you bring in is going to be safe for everyone.
Thanks again for listening to this month's Today's Health and Wellness podcast, brought to you by Central Ohio Health and Wellness Magazine and Today's Health on Facebook, theblitz.com, 1039jackfm.com, and WMNI.com. Contact us if you have a health and wellness segment you would like us to cover. If you would like to talk about sponsoring our podcast, our contact information is on the podcast notes. We look forward to hearing from you.
Circle270media.com.